All right, here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation. Thursday night Knicks. Oh, man. Well, good news and the bad news. Good news is I told you guys to expect a night like this. A Kemba game where he was going to light up MSG for at least 40 points. And he did so tonight. Kemba Walker, electric tonight in MSG. Boy, oh boy, Tibbs has got to be killing himself for benching this guy. 44 points, 8 dimes. 7 of 14 from downtown, 14 for 27 for Kemba tonight. He was classic Kemba. Gave you everything you could ask for. Short-handed, undermanned Knick team. Julius having a case of the yips again. And Kemba was here to save the day. But this Knicks defense is so terrible that was the story. Overshadowing Kemba's 44-point performance, this Knicks defense couldn't stop a nosebleed out there. Wizards were winning at the point of attack. 30 dimes for the Wizards tonight. Killing us from the three-point line, timely threes. So at the end of the day, we're finding ourselves trading buckets. I mean, Knicks had a 7-point lead coming out of halftime based off of Kemba's heroics. Wizards turned the tables quickly and found themselves up 7 at some point during the third quarter. And we were able to cut it to 2. Knicks were able to cut it to 2 late in the fourth. But after the Fournier corner 3, you had an Aaron Holiday corner 3. And then you had Kyle Kuzma with back-to-back dagger threes. And that was all she wrote, man. That was all she wrote. Knicks lose 124-117. Knicks postgame live presented by Prize Picks. CP the franchise here. We're going to get JD and Ashley in here with their thoughts. Monster night by Kemba. But this Knicks defense just could not, and I mean could not, stop anything out there. Anything. Wizards were just having their way in the paint from the three-point line. And again, once things break down on the perimeter, your whole team defense is stressed. It is taxed. My guy Mitch was running around trying to plug every single mistake. He was playing whack-a-mole out there. Everything he could to try to stop these guys. Because Fournier was getting blown by. Even Kemba was getting blown by. Julius was getting blown by. So, no answers whatsoever for this Wizards attack. And there we go. And we talked about on this 3-game stand that this was going to be the toughest one. And it sure enough was. But to add insult to injury, this is a team where you're going to be battling this team for playoff seeding. And they got one on us. No Bradley Beal. Wizards at 17-15. Knicks at 14-18. Dinwiddie was great at the point for them. Yeah, Dinwiddie with 12 dimes. The whole Wizards starting 5 in double figures. Kuzma 18. Corey Kispert. I guess the Knicks didn't know Corey Kispert could shoot threes. They only been drafting him for the entire year. 4 or 5 from downtown for Kispert. A lot of them wide open. Not a guy in sight. Dinwiddie 3-7 from downtown. Even knocks in a bank shot 3-pointer to add insult to injury. Aaron Holiday 4-7 from downtown. Top of that, you had Montrezl Harrell 15. Danny Avdija 14. So you had 7 Wizards in double figures tonight. That's just not going to get it done. Now, Tibbs was at the podium. A lot of people were looking for Quentin Grimes tonight. No RJ tonight, even though he was out of the COVID protocol. No RJ, based on Tibbs' response, was saying that RJ needs more conditioning. So I think that was the same thing with Quentin Grimes because he didn't play at all tonight. Dotson did play in his absence. You know, you're not looking for much production out of Dotson. He literally just walked onto the team. So clearly he was out of sync. Clearly there was some chemistry stuff going on there. He did have 2 points. But, you know, you're not looking for much from Dotson at this point. He's basically just a walk-on. So it's tough. And then you know, the flip side to watching Kemba go off and watching Kemba cook, and even though he had 8 dimes for the large part, for the majority of this game, there just wasn't any ball movement. The ball movement just wasn't there. And so when your point guard is cooking like that, yeah, it's a good thing. But on the other hand, it could be a curse too, because you know your offense is still stagnating. And Julius, forget about it. He's a shell of himself right now. So that's where we are, man. 124 to 117. Knicks go down. Let me get my panel in here. JD and Ash, how you guys feeling? You guys ready? Hang on. Let me get you guys in here. JD and it. JD, unmute your mic. You're muted.
Yeah, I'm good.
You good to go? Ash, you good?
Yes, sir.
Ash, give me a mic check. Ash is on mute. Ash is speechless right now. Speechless.
That's how good the defense was.
Yeah. Yeah. Ash, you still on mute. Ash is speechless. JD, go ahead and give me your takes of the game while we wait for Ash to get in.
I mean, the story of the game, other than Kemba's performance, Kemba continuing to maybe bury the play the kids hashtag, is the defense. Mm-hmm. You know, what's do you know that this is the Wizards in terms of regulation points? This is their season high, 124.
Yeah. They average 105. They almost had that at the end of the third.
Previously, they had 122 in game 5 of the season against the Hawks, and that's because Beal had 27 points in that game. Mm-hmm. And tonight they scored 124. They were 28th
in progress.
They were 28th in the league in 3-point percentage at 32%. Mm-hmm. And what do they do tonight? They shoot 43%. They were 28th in the league in 3-point attempts at 32. What do they do tonight? 37 threes. Corey Kispert, I guess you can add him as one of the many that we make famous.
Yeah.
You know, first career start. Has been struggling shooting in the 20s of percentage in threes. And tonight he goes off and plays well. So, and I was, as the game was flowing, you started to see that this was going to be the name of the game, is who was going to get enough stops to win.
Trading
buckets.
Because
as Kemba was scoring, we were trading buckets. I thought in terms of specific performances defensively, I thought you have to put Randle at number 1 because he's, again, the leader of the team. Too many times he's, you know, not running back on defense. He's allowing the big men, you know, Kuzma to hit him, you know, on cuts.
Yeah.
Fournier, I thought might have played his worst defensive game.
Oh, we calling him the Matador tonight. He gets the Matador award tonight,
and,
bro.
And this is after Tom Thibodeau just said on his last press conference, I think it was practice or post game, was about how he has improved defensively, and Tibbs saying when he's engaged, he plays well, and he gets rewarded with his worst defensive game.
He was the Matador tonight, bro. Stick a fork in him.
I don't understand this lineup of Taj and Randle at the 3.
Yeah,
I think that
what's
lineup,
going on there, man?
It.
3 straight games we got Taj and Randle at the 3, bro.
I don't understand how your player Randle, who's already struggling as it is with all these combinations, you're gonna shrink the floor more, and a guy that doesn't make good decisions, you're gonna give him less spacing. It doesn't make sense. And on the defense, how many times did we get beat on cuts with that lineup?
Yeah.
It did not make sense.
Tibbs is living in the late 90s, early 2000s, bro. Like, what are we doing with this, Tibbs?
Hey, listen, man. Play the kids. That's all I have to say.
I'm sure enough with Taj is my guy, but enough, man. Enough. All right, let's see if Ash's mic is working. Ash, is your mic working?
My mic's still not working, but we're going to go old school.
Let's
I don't know
go.
what's going on.
All right, let's go.
I'm not even going to hold you. I'll figure it out in a little bit. But look, Yeah, this is disappointing. Whenever you have one of your players, put up. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can
you good.
hear me
You good.
now?
Yeah, you good.
All right, perfect. So, yeah, like I was saying, basically, when you have one of your players that put up crazy numbers like Kemba did tonight, you're supposed to walk away with a win. I kind of equate it to when you have a quarterback that throws for over 400 yards, but you still go ahead and you lose the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not supposed to happen. This just goes to show that defensively, we're Swiss cheese. There's so many holes in our defense. But then on top of that, you have Kemba holding down the fort in his regard, and he's having an incredible game, but things are working against him. You have Julius, who's, again, forcing shots that just aren't there. It's kind of like the kid who is getting all the attention. Well, he's the brother of the kid getting all the attention, and he has to say, hey, look at me, look what I can do, look what I can do, to try to, like, steal the thunder. And it's just not doing anything miraculous. Let the kid have his shine. But then also it goes back to Tibbs. There was some questionable rotations. There were some questionable substitutions or lack of substitutions that I think could have been beneficial, especially down the stretch. It's just unfortunate because this should have been a game that we're talking about how well the offense played, especially Kemba, and we're just not, because once again, the defense is just, the bane of our existence. And offensively, we lose it in the times that it counts. The third quarter was atrocious. Again, the third quarter of doom was atrocious. And
but then, that third quarter, then he's going Kemba and Julius all the way. They playing the entire third quarter. And I think Fournier did as well, the entire third quarter. So now the Wizards flip the whole game. And so now you take Kemba out, then you got to bring him back early in the fourth.
Right.
To play the whole game.
Right. I mean, it's questionable again. And, outside of the fact that you see Kemba and he's having these incredible games consistently, obviously tonight was on a whole different level, but throughout the time of his return, he's been productive and above that at times. So
44 points. He kept that on the bench.
Right. So you're also questioning Tibbs' judgment because he kept that on the bench. That's 44 points of offense. Yeah. The other night, it was 20-something points of offense. In Boston, it was 29 points of offense. Again, Kemba's defense is not great. We know that. That's not a surprise. It's really never been his strong suit. But the team as a whole is supposed to be a defensive team, even though they've slipped. Yeah. There's not even a remnant of that defense. And again, in that third quarter, it's a constant perpetual pattern of just laziness. And it's frustrating to watch because the first half goes completely out the window when that game starts again after halftime. And they look a completely different team every single game.
And CP, speaking of those minutes, Kemba played 11 minutes and 44 seconds in that third. So he damn near played the whole third quarter. And then when we talk about, the distribution of minutes in terms of managing the flow of the game, understanding Kemba's health, understanding his defensive deficiencies, and also understanding in a game where he's red hot, you want him as fresh as you can for that stretch run in the fourth quarter. Well, in the fourth quarter, he goes 1 of 6. So was that fatigue? Did it catch up? I did see him after a few possessions. He was, crouching down, trying to catch his breath. He played 10 minutes in the fourth. So he almost played the whole second half. How is that? How I understand he's on his way to having one of his best nights of his career, but how can you justify that in this version of Kemba? Yeah. The last time Kemba had such a game, they said it on the broadcast. It was Kemba Walker in Charlotte when he had 60. This is not Kemba Walker of Charlotte in terms of his physical, conditioning and the way that he is at this point. So that's also part of just Tibbs is I just don't understand sometimes how he manages the game like a template and it doesn't, he doesn't take any other factors around it into account. And so I didn't agree with the way that he managed Kemba in the second half. I thought it showed in the fourth quarter. Some of the team was fatigued and, the defense and the offense showed out there.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate, man, because, you have a night like this by Kemba, you want to see them pull out a win, but you can't keep trading buckets with this team. You got to get some stops. And we keep talking decisions every show, but if you have aspirations to make the playoffs, so on and so forth, Kemba's going to be locked in at the 1 right now, right? You got to make a decision with Fournier, man. Where you have to get better balance defensively on your lineup, and that starts on the perimeter. You got to factor in either McBride or Grimes getting into this lineup, because I don't see how it's not going to change. And that's why I said last night, JD, when everybody's like, oh, you doom and gloom, when I say, look, this team is going to be hovering around 500, more or less. And it's because of that. You're never going to see a consistent team because defensively they're going to get washed. This was his team almost matched their season average at the end of the third quarter. 124 points, 30 assists. They were slicing this team up. And this is more or less your starting five. You know, you had no RJ, but I don't think that would have changed much.
Yeah, and it's part of, you know, Ash attributed to this in previous shows in terms of the identity of this team. What is it? You know, and I think they have to, you know, Tibbs has to realize, the team has to realize that this is not a roster that's, you know, a Phoenix roster, a Golden State roster, one of these top echelon rosters where the talent sometimes can just overlap some of the issues, right? It's just enough talent that some certain deficiencies, you can hide it. You can't hide what the identity of this roster has to be. And the identity of this roster this season has to continue to be defense, because they don't have the talent around to overcome that. And with saying that, I think he has to play both rookies, because you continue to go with Kemba, you're going to continue to go with Fournier, that's fine, but the margin for error shrinks even more because of the defense.
You have no room for error. Go ahead, Ash.
Right, got my mic working.
Let's go. We got Ash live and direct in HD. Let's go.
So I can stop fidgeting. No, absolutely. I mean, I've alluded to this. We've talked about this on this show. And you know, you saw a remnant of that in the first half. I want to say, offensively, we were clicking. Defensively, obviously, it wasn't like last season, but we looked much better. So for me, I was like, the potential is there. I think it's the lack of effort to go ahead and do that all 4 quarters. And I think people don't realize that defense is maybe 40% skill and the rest is all effort, because even the worst defensive player can play defense for 4 quarters if he has the effort, if that makes sense. So I think the effort to go ahead and do that through 4 quarters of basketball is no longer there. Whereas last season, you saw a team that was gritty. You saw a team that wanted to give you a hard time throughout the entirety of a game. Yes, offensively, there was peaks and valleys, but we expect that. Like you said, we don't have the superstars that some of the other teams in the league do. So constantly that offense is constantly moving and scoring. But the defense is where it was our golden egg, if you will, because we constantly played it. We never let up. That's not the case this season. I don't see any of that in Julius Randle this season. No. Evan Fournier refuses to play defense. It's like he's allergic to it. Kemba, that's not his strong suit. The young guys play, but Tibbs doesn't play the young guys. So it's a perpetual cycle of just lack of D.
That is the problem that he's going to have when this team is at full strength. And again, no RJ, no Grimes. Obi did play, but without his pairings, without his guys, IQ and D Rose, the pace is a lot slower. We had no fast break points at all tonight. And, you put Obi in the half court, and he's trying to get back into the swing of things, so he really wasn't effective. You did see Dotson. You saw a little Daniel House, who they signed to a 10-day COVID hardship. So you saw a little Daniel House out there, but, defensive miscommunication. He's brand new, walking off the street. So, again, not expecting much out of him either. But yet and still, we had enough to win this game, man. We just could not buy a stop whatsoever.
I need to hear what Tibbs has to say about Grimes. That's the only reason why
my only guess is conditioning, just like RJ, bro. My only guess is conditioning.
Because when I'm watching the game and I saw Daniel House come in and I saw Dotson be the first one off the bench in terms of the perimeter players, I said it has to be that Grimes, that wasn't reported though. It wasn't reported. RJ was the one, and also because Grimes came in a little early, right? It looked like he would be in shape because he had enough negative tests to come back even before. It wasn't even expected that he would be cleared today.
I gotta think it's conditioning, bro. I can't, you know, Tibbs is a stubborn coach. Why the hell would he bring in a Daniel House off the street and a Dotson?
You know why?
I couldn't see that.
Because of years of service, they're considered vets. That's why.
Yeah, you know why? And that's why when I said, do you really need to hear Tibbs' response? Because
for Grimes, yes. We need answers.
Me sometimes says a lot of nothing. Like it's a lot of, he talks, but he's not really saying anything. And I know I picked up on that. And I know everyone's probably been like, you're late to the party. I really noticed it after the Kemba game in Boston. When he had 29 points and the post-game interview or the conference, Tibbs is like, I don't know. We'll see if I play him. I don't know. I got to go back. You just saw somebody that's been on the bench for weeks drop almost 30 in TD Garden. You're supposed to be saying, I'm going to find a spot for him in the rotation. You know, Kemba deserves to play. He played one hell of a game. You don't say, oh, I don't know. I'll see. I'll think about it. I got to look at the film. Like, are you for real? This stuff like that concerns me. It concerns me.
Ego, man. So hard to admit that you're wrong, but this is where we are. Because, like I said, I don't see that changing at this point.
Hey, he's an old school coach, and he's out here playing Kemba with a bad knee 40 minutes every game.
Yeah.
So I guess Daniel House is well conditioned and Dotson's well conditioned because they came in and they saw some minutes. I mean, I get it. I'm sure the report's going to be that Grimes, and I mean, I saw someone in the chat say that. Supposedly Tibbs said that Grimes didn't get to practice. He was late.
I gotta think it's that, bro. But right or wrong, I don't know. You know what I mean? He's the coach, but I gotta think it's for that reason. I don't think he'd be that crazy to put in a Daniel House who literally just got here today. And a Dotson.
They said he was late to practice. That's what they said.
I guess they said the Grimes didn't get a chance to get out there with him. So we shall see. But let me hit the reset button. Let's get to the calls. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit that thumbs up button for your squad. Disappointing 124-117 loss. Knicks lose to the Washington Wizards, man. Wizards now 17-15 on the campaign. Knicks 14-18. Game 2 of a 3-game homestand. You know, we did talk about this on Knicks Weekly, JD, that this would be the tough one to get. Alex Rotaros of Stratocast did predict this would be the L that they would receive. But, hey, don't sleep on this Hawks game Christmas Day. The Hawks just left Philly with a W. The Lance Stevenson-led Hawks. I don't think he played much tonight, but Bogdanovich had a good game. I saw John Collins started the game off well. They just beat Philly in Philly, so they're coming up here feeling good. So don't sleep on that Hawks team Christmas Day. Definitely not guaranteed. Other good news, you know, Knicks with the bad news. Good news, we hit 45,000 subscribers on the channel. So salute to everybody that's been rock with us, man. Whether you're day one, whether you're hashtag new or somewhere in between, we definitely appreciate all the love and support that you guys have been giving us. 45,000 and climbing. So continue to hit that like button, continue to hit the notification bell, the subscribe button, and continue to share these videos, man. Let the people out there know that this is the #1 show for the fans, by the fans.
45,000.
45,000.
Who would have thought?
Let's go. Okay, let me, where's my phones at? That would be important to do. All right, while I get the phones up, salute to the super chat. Salute to Chuck D, the rhyme animal Chuck D. Everybody throw a hashtag PE in the chat. Chuck says, I thought Kemba was going to get JD's only 50 burger this season. He did his job. Second half, he could have sat with King and Starks. We cannot put 4 whack defenders with Kemba. Julius' body language, terrible. Yeah, Julius, he's looking shell-shocked out there, man. And there's no doubt. And, you know, several times when he's got smaller defenders on him and he's trying to shake and bake and do fadeaways. He's got Neto on him. He's got any Wizard he had on him that wasn't Montrezl Harrell or Gafford, which they didn't even guard him at half this game. I mean, Julius should have been attacking. He should have been relentless attacking the paint tonight. Well, it wasn't a good outing for him, man. It was not a good outing.
It's weird, too, because his body language is like a roller coaster. Sometimes it looks really, really good. Yeah. Like there were parts, and especially in the first half, where I was like, yo, Julius is in the zone tonight. When he was hitting those back-to-back shots, I was like, okay, Ju, go on then. Like, and then it goes downhill, and then it goes uphill, and it goes back downhill. And then I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. It's a very confusing. Normally your body language is pretty much consistent throughout the game. Of course, you know, sometimes a bad call can shake you up a little bit, but you snap back to, you know, your previous mood when the game started.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it's a little different. It's a little bit of an emotional roller coaster, if you will, Julius Randle.
CP, you know why I'm almost 100% certain this is the reason why he does that. I've seen it too many times this season. I saw the difference last season. Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, it's mental, but he really wants to avoid being in situations where he has to make decisions and passes. He's not confident in his ability to make the proper pass on the double team.
Or shot
so
either.
He knows, right. So he knows, you know, when Spencer Dinwiddie's guarding him, which happened many times tonight, and he knows the smart play is to get into the paint, right? Hold your dribble high, continue to get down low to the paint, because you know help is going to come at some point, which would mean you would have to make that smart pass. That is what he's not confident in. So he feels more confident trying to shake and bake and shoot the fadeaway shot near the restricted
It's a cop out, man. It's a cop out. And he's not confident in shot either. She's aiming shots, as they say on the telecast, and you can see it. You know, you could definitely see it. But let me get to the
in this situation though, he doesn't, it's not so much, I don't think he's well. I think maybe he has a cold, or like he looks out of it. He doesn't even look like normal Julius, where his body language is just like moody. He doesn't look like he's feeling the best. Like, and it's not I think he's actually like not feeling well. Like I think he may have a cold.
Pressure.
I don't know.
It's called pressure. Pressure busting pipes. I'm trying to tell you. It's a lot of pressure, man. It's a lot of pressure. That man has been feeling it since the playoffs against the Hawks. I'm telling you. And he hasn't shook it. He has not shook it. So let's just see. But let's get to the phones. Let me go to Shamar from D.C. Shamar, what's good? Shamar.
Yo, what's going on, guys?
What's good, man? How you feeling?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear. Go ahead.
Guys, congrats on 45K, man. That's awesome.
Appreciate it, bro.
I'm a part of the replay crew, so.
No doubt. Shout out to the replay gang, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Every morning.
Nice.
Yo, all right. We're going to do a quick rapid fire.
Let's go.
I don't have much to say. Bro, I want to get I'm feeling Michael right now. I know he's about to call in and go nuts.
Oh, yeah.
I know Michael's about to go nuts tonight. No, bro.
Mm-hmm.
For real. Because between Randall and Tibbs, like Julius, I want to give him some sort of credit. I hate to baby these players, but Tibbs does not put him in the position to do well ever. Like night in and night out, basically every game this year, he has put him in a position where he has to do things that he's just not good at doing. I don't see where Tibbs or the front office, you know, where they see Randall as a, you know, number one guy or even a number two guy. It just feels like we're forcing so much out of him.
Yeah,
even
but
when
I mean, even
on
tonight though. I mean, what did you see tonight specifically? Where you would say that?
Well, so like, obviously, you know, Kemba went off, and the ball went through Kemba. Like all the plays went through Kemba, which I thought was great. But I felt like in certain aspects of the game, especially towards the end, we would defer to Julius to like go to ISO for like one play or like two plays out of, you know, however many, 3 or 4, which is, it's not as much as before, but even still, like he's just not the guy. He doesn't need those ISO plays at the end of the game. But that's not, I mean, I don't know. Okay. That's neither here nor there. My real beef is with his, like, overall, it's been stuff earlier, you know, in the season. It's not even, it's everything, bro.
Yeah.
If this conditioning was Grimes and McBride, why they didn't play tonight, that's one thing. But if it's not the conditioning, why are you not playing these guys?
Yeah, no, I would have to see. I would have to see it as conditioned, man. And appreciate the call. Like I said, I can't see House and Dotson getting run over Grimes if it wasn't a conditioned thing. Especially when he said it was, you know, the same case for RJ. I got to think it's the same thing. All right, let's go to let's get to the Discord. Michael on the Discord. Michael, let's go.
I'm done. I'm done with Charlie Brown. I'm done with Randall. I'm done, bro. I'm done. I lost my voice because of this game. Mr. Charlie Brown, Julius Randle, Evan Fournier, whole third quarter,
Yo.
Golden State Warriors nightmares, bro. I can't, man. Evan Fournier is 1 for 8 at the time he gets subbed in. You have Dotson. Even though, I'd rather have Grimes than Dotson. I hope it's conditioning, because if it's not, then I'll punch Charlie Brown in the face. But you have Dotson fighting for his life. I think he got 2 points like the last 2 minutes before Evan got subbed in. We were cutting it down. We cut it down to 5 after it was a 10-point lead in the beginning of the fourth quarter. You have Evan Fournier, who's 1 for 8, and he hits 1-3. I know he comes in and hits 1-3, but you already have Randall getting cooked on defense. You have Kemba, who's not a good defender. You put in Fournier in 3 minutes in the fourth quarter. I don't care if he's $79 million. I don't care what the front office thinks. Win the game. Don't play him in. Don't play someone who can't play defense, who's just a traffic cone standing. Why? What are you doing? Come on. Randall, third quarter, bro. Like, the third quarter's awful, bro. It's awful. Why is he dribbling? You just had Kemba Walker score 25 points in the second quarter. I think even more. And you let Julius Randle handle the ball? Julius and Tibbs, what are you doing, bro? It's like Charlie Randle and Snoopy. Come on. Come on, man.
Michael spitting facts right now. Throw some 5s in the chat for the Rookie of the Year, man. Go ahead, bro.
When Julius Randle, in the same stretch as Kemba, in the last 10 quarters, Julius Randle, during the last 3 games, when Kemba came back, 49 points, 18 for 45 field goals, 10 assists, 12 turnovers, 31% from 3. Kemba, in the same game, the same 10 quarters, 78 points, 19 rebounds, 11 assists, versus just 3 turnovers and 12 made threes. Come on, man.
Hang in there, bro.
Come on, Charlie Brown, you gotta look at that, man. I don't care what the front office thinks. I don't know what James doing, his fat ass eating cupcakes. I don't care what things are playing Fournier.
He's going in.
Don't play Fournier, bro.
All right, man.
I would have Dotson out there fighting his life for defense instead of 1 for 8 Fournier coming in with his French baguette. On defense, bro. Get out of
Michael,
here,
let him know, man. There ain't no Merry Christmas for them, for you, bro.
Nah, bro.
All right, hang in there. Michael on the Discord. Throw some 5s in the chat for Michael, the Rookie of the Year, man. That's what you call passion, bro. That's what you call passion.
Almost too much, but
yeah, Michael went off. Michael definitely went off. I mean, look, the whole Fournier thing. I mean, who else do we have out there? You think he's gonna close with Dotson? We gotta be realistic. Obviously, didn't turn out. Wasn't a great result all game. But I'm not gonna expect my coach to be out there closing with Damian Dotson out there when you just paid the guy $78 million. Yeah, he's not a good defender. But that's all we had. If Grimes was playing, that's a different thing. But that's all we had, bro. You gotta live and die with it. All right, let's go back to the Discord. It's Rose. You up next. It's Rose. Unmute your mic.
Hey, fellas. What's going on, Ash?
How you doing?
Nice to hear from you again. I love the IG ad, by the way. The high knee story.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, man.
But back to the game. I'm not thrilled at all with what I seen with Kemba. No, I'm sorry, not Kemba. Evan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if my man's not hitting no shots, literally, why is he in the game? They brought him in, and he made 1 field goal for the whole game coming in.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, bro. I mean, same thing I just said though. Where are you going? You gonna play Dotson extended minutes, bro? They had no options.
Daniel House, whoever just came off the street.
You're not bringing in House off the. Come on, man. You guys gotta be realistic, bro.
But Evan Fournier ain't giving up anything on defense, though.
I mean, I hear you, but I mean, in crunch time, you're not gonna bench him for 2 guys that just came off the street.
I guess you're right, but I'm still not happy with it. And Julius, I think he needs like a sports psychologist or something. Like, I agree with what Ash was saying. Like, he just looks completely out of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's been out of it, like you've been saying, since like the playoffs last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's just not himself at all.
He's never recovered.
Maybe he needs a sports psychologist. Like, I don't know. He looks completely lost. I like what I saw from Kemba. Mitch actually looks like he got energy again.
Yeah.
Which thank
Mitch
God.
was,
I
Mitch
was
was trying to clean
lose
up
hope
after
with him.
everybody else, man. And
Yeah,
battle
he
Gafford
really
down
was.
there.
He played a hell of a game, even though the stats ain't gonna show it.
Yeah.
He was excellent. That's about all I gotta say.
All right.
Jules got to get back at it. Evan, if you ain't hitting shots, I don't want to see you out there. I don't care who's out there, just not him. That's all I gotta say, folks.
It's Rose on the Discord. Appreciate it, man. Shout out to It's Rose on the Discord. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for your squad. Knicks post-game live presented by Prize Picks. Some more super chats are coming. Shout out to Kenny Gales, $20 super chat. He says, Tibbs is off the Casamigos again. No reason Dotson and Horny House getting minutes and Grimes couldn't.
What?
After 20. Yeah,
Did he just call him?
Yeah, he said he went there. He took it there, Ash. He took it there. Daniel House, for those of you that don't remember, got bagged in the bubble for trying to, trying to bring some action to the room. He disobeyed the rules. He violated the code, and they sent him home.
He might have had his Manscaped, bag with him.
He might have had his Manscaped bag. He was feeling himself, but nevertheless, he violated the code of the bubble. The He-Man Woman Haters Club, and they sent him home, man. They hating on him. They hating on House. He violated COVID protocol, and he gets brought in on COVID hardship.
It's funny how things happen in sports. Kind of like the Odell Beckham, Sterling Shepard thing on that famous boat.
Yeah.
Just sometimes something happens, and you're just never the same since. Because since that moment, Daniel House hasn't been the same player. It's just funny how things work in sports.
It's funny, man. It is funny indeed. Some more super chat. Shout out to Russell Reed, $10 super chat. He says, Kemba proved that you can light up the scoreboard all you want, but if you're not playing team defense, you're washed. To Evan, United Airlines flight NYC to Charles de Gaulle is only $1,000. One way tomorrow. Cassius Clay, $10 super chat says, shout out to KFTV 45K. Evan and Randall ruined Kemba's night. I like Dot, but over Grimes. ? Mitch, 25 minutes, 3 rebounds. Hashtag free Obi, hashtag play the kids. Shout out to Steve Verner, another $10 super chat. He says, in the final minute and 30 seconds, Randall gave up 7 points, 6 to Kuzma, left 1 on the line with all our defensive woes. We could have still won the game. Both him and Fournier are lazy on defense. Yeah, I think you got a good point there, man. Definitely got a good point. Shout out to CT Pittman, $10 super chat. He says, no handle, Randall. We don't need that. Yeah, we definitely don't need that tonight. But you know what? Kemba had it tonight. The rock was in Kemba's hands tonight. We just couldn't bring him home. The defense was just lousy, man. But shout out my guy CT Pittman for the super chat. All right, back to the phones we go.
We got some poets in the chat.
Oh, what are we doing?
Really good with rhyming names and.
Oh yeah.
Although I will say, Horny House kind of sounds like fun. I'm just saying, it just sounds like a cool place to visit. Just want to family show, so I won't go further than that. But it sounds like a good time. I don't know.
I mean, he was definitely trying to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? But wasn't the case for him.
House might get on your DMs tonight after that.
Yeah, right. House might be watching. He might be watching. Shout out to House, man.
You to relax.
Well, welcome to the team, House. Welcome to the team. All right, Hassib is king on the Discord. Hassib, what's good?
Hey, CP, do you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear, man. How you doing?
Hey, man. Pretty good, man. Congrats on the 45K.
Thank you, bro. Thanks for your support.
Yep, no problem. But to the game, it was a bad performance from Randall and Fournier, but it was an absolutely pathetic coaching performance from Tibbs, man. I just don't understand when coming out of the first half, you have this really bad defensive performance in the third quarter, and Randall and Fournier are playing basically the entire quarter. This has been such a common theme throughout the entirety of the season where they played the whole third quarter.
The whole third quarter, bro.
Show the most.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I don't get that. And I just don't understand the substitutions either. I like Dotson and House over Grimes. Like, this is a guy we've had since training camp.
Let me check on the Grimes thing on Twitter just so we could put it away. I can't imagine that it was anything other than conditioning. And again, I can't say if it was right or wrong. I'm not the coach. I'm not, that's a bit too technical for my blood. But I can't imagine that the kid was a healthy scratch tonight. I just don't believe it.
Right, and also it's just the defensive rotations. A guy in Kispert on Washington first started the season. He came in averaging 3.9 points per game.
Yeah.
He comes and drops 20 at MSG. Like that's obviously a rotation issue on the defensive end. And then this guy Nato, whatever you say his last name, bro, he was cooking Fournier. This unknown that I've never.
Well,
heard
Nato kills us. Give him credit, man. He's been cooking us all year.
He does, but Fournier, the defense got stuff because it was either, I think, Sims or Robinson. They would have to help, and that would have left Gafford open or Harrell for easy putback dunks. And it was just absolutely a pathetic performance. I just don't understand at all. And it was awful. And Randall just doing too much, man. Anytime someone has a good game, Randall cannot have a good game. It just bad juju. I don't know why. It's just not
bad juju. I
so,
see where you went there, man. Bad juju.
But quickly, if anybody gets a Randall jersey for Christmas, man, listen, trade that in for a bag of gold. Nobody wants to wear that BS, man. You know, CP, you might have to offer some trade-ins for Manscaped razors, maybe. Take the Randall jerseys in for some Manscaped. I don't know. You might have to offer a special on Saturday morning, man. So, but thank you for having me on, guys.
Appreciate it, man. Happy holidays. The Randall trade-in program. Who in the chat has a Randall jersey, man? Speak now. Show yourself. We know you're in here. There's over, how many people we got in here? It's over 1,000, 1,300, 1,400 people in here. Almost 1,500. I know a couple of you got some Randall jerseys in here, man. So throw your hands up. It's all good. It is what it is. Might be on clearance coming soon, because, man, oh, man. Man, oh, man. All right, let's go to, we're going to take a couple more calls, and then we'll go to our prize picks on the night. JD, give me a quick stat on yours. How you doing tonight, man, on your prize picks, bro?
I didn't play the Knicks game, so I played the late game.
Okay, all right, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
It's all late game, so.
All right, yeah, I got 2 late games right now in progress. Isaac from Tuxedo. Isaac, what's good?
Yeah, it was good, y'all. Thanks for taking the call.
Appreciate it, bro.
Congrats on the success as well.
Thanks a lot.
Give y'all a shout out on that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm part of the replay gang as well. You get me through a lot of the morning to work.
Appreciate
that.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, I love and respect these dudes as men, but as far as basketball goes, I hate Tibbs and I hate Julius so much. They caused me so much frustration. I didn't like Tibbs when he first came. I've been seeing the flaws in his coaching, and it is what it is. I want him gone. Been wanting him gone. I'm going to stay on that. As far as Julius, Julius is really in his head. I mean, he even brought out the old spin move. You saw the spin move when he came down the lane? He brought out the old spin move. He had stopped doing it for a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
It was a turnover.
He stopped it for a whole year and brought it back tonight. That's when you know he's going through it right now. But, you know, as far as the whole Grimes situation, I know what you're saying about the conditioning, but honestly,
that's just a guess. That's just a guess. I haven't seen anybody on the beat say anything about it. I'm just guessing. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, but I'm saying even if that was the case, they still would do better than 2 dudes that just came off the street.
Yeah.
Because they already know how the team plays. So they're already going to have that cohesion. They would just do better than them. And you know what it's called when your players, they're out of shape and they don't have conditioning? It's called call timeout, Tib. It's called make substitutions at the right time, Tib.
Mm-hmm.
Like these rotations, the clock, man, he can't walk and chew gum at the same time. All he does is yell at the refs with Randall. And then he goes 2 extremes. He either plays people too much or he plays them too little. And it's just annoying to see, you know, shout out to Kemba too, you know, Bronx Barrel BX. It's annoying to see him play his heart out like that and then see these guys just ruin it. And it's not all on Julius. I'm not blaming everything on Julius. I'm just saying that because he's the star, it's just a big problem, man. And that's just all I got to say. And Fournier is just laughable on defense. Forget him.
Yeah, forget about it, man.
You just laugh at that.
Forget about it. Appreciate the call, man. Happy holidays, man. Tuxedo repping the replay gang. Salute to the replay gang.
Replay gang coming out heavy tonight.
Yo, replay gang is deep, man. When we run the replays of the show, we still getting like a couple hundreds in there. So shout out to the replay gang, everybody that's watching this on demand or on the replay live stream. So Definitely appreciate all the support. Shout out to somebody in the chat named Julius the Spinover. I thought that was a cool nickname, JD, the Spinover. Who else we got in here? Shout out to my lad Kayumi. $5 super chat says, I think it's time to blame Tibbs. If he's known for his defense and the defense is horrible all year, fire Tibbs, play the kids, hire Mark Jackson. Guys are still on the Mark Jackson train, I see. I got to forget about that. It's never happening. If you guys are new in the chat, leave us a hashtag new. We'll shout you guys out. Definitely want to shout out all my mods in the chat and say happy holidays, all the best health, wealth, and prosperity to the mods, everybody that helps keep the channel running morning, noon, and night. You know, we got mods in the replay gang, JD. We got mods, you know, John Talento's in there. Shout out my guy Rome. They hold it down for the replay gang. So shout out to all the mods as well, man. Gotta be legend, TM.
I don't even know what time zone John Talento's on because he's everywhere.
Oh yeah, he don't miss a show.
He's on the right. He does not miss a show.
Yeah, John definitely does not miss a show. So we appreciate everybody who moves this thing forward for sure.
You know who I was disappointed in tonight? Mm-hmm. A little small disappointment was Mitchell Robinson. 3 rebounds.
Yeah.
20-something minutes. This is you get an opportunity to start. Mm-hmm. I personally thought he was going to start eventually anyways because of the way that he played recently. Mm-hmm. And for you to foul out, only 3 rebounds, I was just slightly disappointed in his performance. It's kind of been the part of the inconsistent factor with him. I just would have liked for him to continue that play, have a strong game. It was a good matchup. He's had these nice games, but people said, well, it was the Pistons. Let's see now when Gafford is an athletic guy.
Yeah.
So I was just slightly disappointed in his performance tonight. Hope he bounces back.
Yeah, I thought it was it was a mixed bag for Mitch. He had to battle Gafford. I thought he did well kind of boxing him out, even though Gafford did get me my prize picks over 6.5 rebounds. So definitely appreciate it. I did put some money on Daniel Gafford tonight, but that's neither here nor there. I thought Mitch battled, man. I thought he battled, and again, you wanted to see a bit better rim protection from him, but the pick and roll defense just wasn't crisp for most of the night. Was not crisp. So they got to bounce back. All right, couple more, and then we'll get into our prize picks for the night. So to everybody in the chat, all 1,500 of you, this is Knicks Post Game Live presented by Prize Picks. Let me go to D from North Carolina. D, what's going on? D going once? D's usually
Hello?
Yep. What's good, D?
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, CP? What's going on, Ashley? What's going on, JD?
Good, man.
Hey, happy holidays to you guys.
You too, bro.
See, happy holidays.
I think one thing that I think that Tibbs and Randall need to realize is that he's not LeBron James. And that's where, they have to figure out that he's not that guy. But also, I saw a lot of things. And even with, with people saying the Grimes condition and everything, he should have still played him more to get him into shape, if anything else. Mm-hmm. And I know that I think it was the last show somebody said, oh, just like the Hawks turned it around, the Knicks could turn it around. But the only way the Hawks turned it around was changing the coach.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of things. And right now, the team got JD needing the Heimlich maneuver for the 50 burger. But
Heimlich maneuver.
It's crazy. And another person that kind of let me down a little bit that I felt upset with was Sims. He looked like a deer in headlights out there.
Yeah, but he's a rookie, man. He's a rookie.
Well, I know. I understand that. Yeah. But you still learn how to help out and how to help out on plays. There was a lot of plays I was watching that he didn't help out, and he didn't even go to. And it was simple plays. It wasn't even like something that was, out of the ordinary. But, and like I said, I give him, he's a rookie. And again, Tibbs isn't playing him like, that much. So he was kind of out of sync.
Right.
But Julius needs to stay in the paint. That was the only place that he looked good tonight, in the paint.
Julius needs to live in the paint, man.
Well, exactly. And I think the reason that his shot's not falling is because of the commitment that he made to Earl Monroe's Renaissance School for all that money for every three. So he don't want to pay up that money. So, but I'll let y'all go. Merry Christmas, and congratulations on 45,000.
Thanks a lot, D. Thanks a lot for the support, man. You saying Julius don't love the kids? Nah, man, that's not it, man. I did find that pledge to be quite interesting, though.
Why is that interesting?
Because I didn't think he was going to repeat his 3-point shooting performance this year. And he basically committed, I forgot what it was, this X amount of money for every 3 that he hit. It ain't happening.
Are you saying he's pulling a Scott's tots?
No, this is what D was saying. You know what I mean?
Or
this
Michael
is what D
Scott
was
promises to send all the kids to college.
Right.
He didn't deliver.
Right.
That is crazy. The whole 500 per 3, and
yeah,
he's like, "Yep, I'm gonna shoot less than 40% on that one."
Buzzer beater in the chat. Transition defense, 3-point defense, dribble penetration killed us, and it kills us a lot of nights, man. Again, this is why we're never going to be a consistent team. There's too many holes on both sides of the ball. And that has been consistent. That's the only thing that's been consistent. So it's hard. A lot of people want to talk about the Hawks turning things around. Hawks also had better players that played better and played better defense.
That's why this is going to be an important year, whether it's if they do anything at the trade deadline. I still believe that the kids here, the combination of McBride and Grimes, I don't buy the perception that if you play the kids, you're tanking on the season, because as I've said 1,000 times, the elements that they bring on the court, I think can help this team win games this season. Mm-hmm. It could help the team remain competitive, and maybe it can even help Julius Randle because his defense is getting exposed, not only because he's taking a step back defensively, but because the players around him, like a Fournier, who's a new addition, are not strong defensively. Last year was different because we had strong defenders. We had a strong system and a strong chemistry defensively with the team. This year, he needs to do more with, it seems to be a weaker personnel defensively, and the strong personnel defensively is on the bench, who are the rookies.
Yeah.
So, but it is going to be interesting to see what this front office does, because you start to look at the coach, you start to look at the holes this season, and you start to ask yourself, why was Fournier even a thought to bring on this team? So now the draft, it looks like they got that down packed. But now in terms of acquisitions, I want to see now what they're going to do to improve their roster, because the Fournier thing, to me, from a philosophical standpoint.
Well, look, I think, bro, they were trying to improve I don't think it was much of a head scratcher, bro. They were trying to improve the offense. Really. They were trying to get a guy who, again, for his career, was a ball mover.
Yeah.
A 40% 3-point shooter. He was supposed to give you more than what Bullock gave you on the offensive end. The whole point was to try to get some shot creators here to help Julius Randle, bro.
Right.
And look, I thought that was one of the better options on the table.
Yeah, it wasn't some sort of like Rubik's cube of like a concept. He was supposed to, on paper and via resume, was supposed to be able to give you at least 20 points a game. At least.
I would say like 15. Consistently. 15. His career average is around 15.
Like he was supposed to be a scorer that was going to go and help and take some of the pressure, like CP said, off of Julius Randle. Same thing with Kemba. They weren't supposed to be defensive, magicians. They weren't supposed to, go ahead and make us defensive threats or a defensive threat. We already knew by signing the both of them, the defense was going to suffer. But the give and take in that relationship was, okay, my defense is going to suffer, but my offense is going to get better. Yeah. So it seemed like a good deal. Now it's like the bait and switch, because now my offense is not that great, but my defense is even worse. Right. So I'm kind of in a really big of a situation. So I don't think it was this is why you are. I think it was a move that had to be made, and that's what was available. It just hasn't worked out. There's just, and I don't think you could have foresaw that. I don't know how anybody could have made that prediction.
I think it was a bad move.
I mean,
let's say
have helped the offense,
right?
Well, I mean, I would have to. We would have to obviously see what was available at the time, because I will concede to that a lot.
At
maybe
the three,
half depending
at
on
the
what was
wing.
available at the time. However, again, when you look at this starting lineup, RJ was part of it. Randall was part of it. You don't have a lot of speed and athleticism. So I understand the offensive point, but he's still shooting 36% from three. It's not like, you know, he's taking a huge step back from a shooting percentage standpoint. But everything else, like, I'm not signing someone because of one skill set. I need more than that to give you that type.
But he brings you more. That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. He brings you. Look at Fournier's numbers for his career. I'm not saying he's not an all-star by any stretch, but he's supposed to give you more than this. That's what I'm trying to say, bro. He's supposed to give you more than this.
It's like I said. That's why it's the bait and switch, because on paper, he wasn't gonna be the championship difference maker, but he was supposed to be enough of a difference maker for a short amount of time. That's why he got a short deal, right? It's only a 3-year deal. It's not like we signed him to 10 years on the Knicks because he was going to be the Messiah and take us to the promised land. But he was supposed to help take us offensively to the next level along with Kemba. It's just that that's not what has been the case. But I don't know if you can fault the front office for making that move, especially when there wasn't many options. It's not like, you know, everyone was beating down the Knicks door, and it's also not like there was many options out there that were even what we needed.
What was the option at the three that was better than the potential of what Fournier was going to give you, based on how last year ended and what you were looking for? You were looking to get Julie some help. You weren't just looking to add, you know, a 3-and-D slashing three that will give you some more athleticism. You want a star. Ideally, you want a star at that position that's better than Julius, but it's not out there right now.
I just think that when you look at his best years, he had a year 18 points, a year 19 points. I get the whole thing of the idea that he can do a lot more with the ball in his hands in terms of creating. But sometimes when these players do these on bad teams, it looks like a skill. You put them on a more competitive team, you put them on an improved roster, or you put them in a certain stage, and it doesn't translate. So just because someone proves to do something, it's like Andre Drummond, right? Andre Drummond puts all these numbers on bad teams, and everyone goes, yeah, let's get him because he's having 20 and 20 nights on the Pistons. You put him on the Sixers, you put him on the Lakers, you put him in a different situation.
Yeah.
And when they are exposed to that same skill set, they don't bring it the same way that they did it on the bad teams.
But we've seen Evan in different situations, though. We saw him in Boston, we saw him in Orlando, we saw him in the Olympics. So it's not like we've only seen him on one squad and he's only been existing in that one space. We've seen him in other spaces, and in other spaces, he looks like a conducive, beneficial part of a team. Again, not a substantial difference maker, but a difference maker that's going to go ahead and help your offense slightly get to the next tier, especially when you're starting at 0. We started at 0. He was supposed to help at least take us to a 5.
That's a fact.
And it's like we're not even at a 3. So it's not necessarily he sold us smoke and mirrors, or maybe we saw him through rose-colored glasses, if you will. But it's not like it was the wrong move. It just has not unfolded the way it was supposed to.
It was a risk. It was a risk I'm willing to take. Put it that way. It's a risk I'm willing to take instead of standing pat or bringing Bullock back. I would. I'm not even going to say what I would have done if they would have brought Bullock back like this. I wouldn't even say it based on what I've seen from this team in the playoffs, bro. It was a one-man show in the playoffs. A one-man show, bro. And that was terrible. We lost 4-1 to this team. We got worked.
All right.
Absolutely worked. I don't know where else do you go?
And it wasn't even a one-man show because the one man that was gonna put on the show was
He
getting
didn't
locked
show.
up.
He himself didn't show.
It was all his understudies. Basically,
you know what I'm saying?
We needed the help. And at the end of the day, look, if there were a better option, maybe we would be having a different conversation. I don't think there were any. You only had 2 options. You go the Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker route, or you were dumping your entire team to try to get a Bradley Beal or a Dame Lillard, and those guys weren't interested in leaving at that moment in time. So our hands were kind of tied. We had to help the team offensively, but we really didn't have many options. Lonzo ended up going to Chicago. DeMar ended up going to Chicago. People that were on our radar ended up going elsewhere. We basically took what was left and hoped for the best based on the tape, based on the resume, and it just hasn't worked. And I don't know if that's anybody's fault. It's just the unfortunate truth in the business of basketball.
This guy PDB in the chat says that's what an interview with Fournier gets you. You become an apologist for him. And he clearly hasn't been watching the show, because every night when he plays terribly, we state as such. So I don't know what this guy's talking about. We can get this guy up out of here. The point that we're trying to make is not to apologize for Fournier. The point is to say, of the offseason moves that were available at the wing, they were trying to upgrade at that position. And from my perspective, this is my perspective. JD's giving his, Ashley's giving hers. I didn't think it was necessarily a bad move. Now we're seeing how many games in. We're a little over 30 games in. It's not looking so hot. His defense stinks. He's stuck in the mud a lot of the times. You know, now has his role in the offense changed? Yes, he's not as ball dominant as he was in Orlando. We have seen signs when they do run the offense through him. We saw it in the Boston game. Good things can happen. So I don't know. It could be a little bit of personnel, but overall, he's been lackluster. 2 of 13 on the night, 2 of 11 from downtown. No, that's not going to get it done. I think we're all in agreement here that he's been bad for the most part.
And you guys keep talking about Kelly Oubre. Let's not do that.
Forget about Kelly Oubre, bro.
Let's not even do that, because you know, if Kelly Oubre
that's revisionist
was signed
history,
to the Knicks,
man. That's revisionist history.
You guys would not be happy with that either. It sounds good because his name's not Evan Fournier right now, but let's not even have that conversation. I think here's the situation though that we find ourselves in now, right? I think Evan has streaks where it's like, oh, okay, I see it. I think maybe we wouldn't be so like aggravated by it if he was making less money. I think it's the lack of production and knowing what he's being paid. That's the most frustrating part, because if he was making Kemba money and he was playing how he was playing, I don't think we would care. You know what I mean? We would care, but it wouldn't be like eating away at our spirits like it is now. And also, I think on the other side of that coin, we're looking at the fact of, if you wanted to move him at this point, or when the point happens, because of how he's been playing, and now, you know, basketball is a business of short-term memory. It's what have you done for me lately, not what have you done 5 years ago. What have you done right now? The production value that he's giving right now is drastically tanking his trade value, which also is frustrating, because not only are you overpaying someone whose production is not high quality, you also probably won't be able to move him. So you can't even make space for somebody that is a higher. It's a perpetual cycle of just bad is what it is. It's just very bad.
Let me salute some of the super chats that are coming. Shout out Blade Penderhughes, $50 super chat. He says, salute to the gang. Congrats on 45K. Samuel Nieves says, but did they go to those teams because we were too conservative in our offense? We had money, no excuse for these signings. Draft is another story, thankfully. Again, what were you looking for? Give me the guy. Give me the guy. You want to talk about Kelly Oubre? We're supposed to be mad because we didn't sign Kelly Oubre? Stop it, man. Stop.
Why are you saying his name like that?
Now, Norman Powell was my guy. I had preferred Norman Powell to Fournier. And I was on record. Go back to the tapes. I wanted Norman Powell here over Fournier. They didn't get him. They Blazers and Raptors swapped Powell for Trent, and both guys stayed with their respective teams.
And he's shooting for almost 42% from three this season. The Blazers are struggling, but he's still playing like Norman Powell.
Yeah, but he's a way better defender than Fournier. That's why I wanted him.
Why didn't they get him?
I don't know. I'm not in the front office, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And it wasn't that, Norman Powell went first or anything. They had the chance to go after him.
Yeah.
And they went with Evan Fournier. That's why I'm saying it just, from a personnel standpoint, I get the shooting aspect of it. But when you look at that starting lineup, he doesn't add speed. He doesn't improve the defense. And now it puts a lot of pressure for him to deliver offensively, because if he doesn't, his defense is so bad. I mean, I was told it was okay.
Yeah.
I was told he could do, he could be decent.
Who
but
said
it's
that?
so bad. I mean, that's what, articles and people that were saying, like, he's a decent defender. He's not a terrible defender. Man, he's a terrible defender.
I knew this thing would be lousy with him and Kemba, but like I said, I thought the offense would have been better. How much was Norman Powell's deal
everyone
with
here
the,
has a role,
with
right?
the
You
Blazers?
hired Walt Parent because of his, his ability to draft. This was supposed to be the deepest draft in recent memory. You could get players that can play now, and guess what? When you look at it now, it was actually true. You have Josh Christopher in Houston playing well. Quentin Grimes we got. McBride didn't go to late in the second round. Jericho Sims was like one of the last picks, and we got him, and he can show he can play now. So, I mean, you hire people to do roles. I think you have to put more trust in their abilities. And listen, when you ask who could they have gotten, Kelly Oubre's a name. I wasn't a fan of it. I didn't want him here. They didn't do
Kelly
it.
Oubre.
But if you look at a real name,
he's moving a needle,
Norman
bro.
Powell was a name that could have been in the same range.
Norman Powell, definitely, bro. Definitely. Norman Powell was 5 years, 90. And they went 478 for Fournier. So maybe, again, I don't know the logistics, because from what I heard, they were interested in Norman Powell. Even before he got traded. Last year's trade deadline, they were interested in him.
No options? Do we know that?
What, team option? I don't know. But did they want to go to 4? Did they want to go to 5? I don't know. I don't know what the logic was there. To me,
I would think that's probably it.
That was, I mean, why would you pass up on a better defender on a Tom Thibodeau-led coach team? Just as good of a three-point shooter as Fournier. Again, I don't know. I'm not in there making the decisions, but I would have to think maybe it was the years. I don't know. I don't know. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for your squad. Having an airing of grievances right now. A little family discussion. Knicks post-game live presented by Prize Picks. And let's get into our Prize Picks right now, JD. Let's get into it, man. Because I am alive and well. Even though earlier I was bleeding, I am alive and well, man. And what is Prize Picks? Prize Picks has the best NBA daily fantasy prop game on the market. They offer more NBA props than any other daily fantasy prop operator, from the superstars to the role players. And what do we mean by props? It's just over-unders. Prize Picks is an easy-to-play over-under game where it's just you versus the house. And so the house at Prize Picks, they're setting the player statistics for every game for each player. And you're just going to select 2 to 5 players, and you're going to predict whether they go over or under a particular stat. And the great thing about Prize Picks is that you can mix and match sports. So you did have the football game on. You had the 49ers versus the Titans. You could have played props from that game and then mixed and matched that with some NBA games tonight. 2 to 5 picks, and you can win up to 10 times the money that you put in. So go to prizepicks.com or download the Prize Picks app and enter promo code KFTV for a 100% match on your deposit of up to $100. All right, JD, here's where I played tonight. With the Hawks coming on the second half of back-to-back, a severely undermanned Hawks team, I thought this Embiid over 26.5 was an easy one, man. I really did. But he would only finish with 24 points and missed the game-tying bucket. And if he would have had that and went out to overtime, I thought he would have had that over. But nevertheless, I did not hit on that one. I also went with Duncan Robinson at home, Miami Heat at home against the Detroit Pistons, one of the worst defensive teams in the league. I thought Robinson would have had a good shot at going over 13.5 points. Only finished with about 5 points in that game. I don't think he hit a field goal in that game, so it was just at the free throw line. So I did not hit on Duncan Robinson. I got tonight, I'm going with the chef tonight. Over 29.5 points. Golden State at home against the Grizzlies. That game is in the third quarter, and it is 62-61 Grizz, and Steph Curry right now has 20 points. So I'm alive and well. He's got 23. So here we go. The chef has 23. He's cooking, and we got ourselves a game here. So I put in Steph Curry over 29.5 points. Next place I went was the next two that I actually got. I went on the rebound side. Daniel Gafford tonight against the Knicks. And that was 6.5. 6.5 points for Daniel Gafford. And my camera just went out for a second. Let's see what happened there. Yeah, I don't know what happened to my camera. But either way, I went Daniel Gafford over 6.5 rebounds. He would finish with 7. Actually got the 7th rebound late in the game. And then the last pick I went with Rudy Gobert, JD, over 14.5 rebounds. I went that way with Gobert, and right now he has 16 boards in the game.
That's crazy.
Against the Timberwolves. Rudy Gobert, 16 boards. Timberwolves the second to last in the league in terms of opponents' rebounds. So the Jazz did win the game, and Gobert finished with 17 boards. So right now, I got 3. I have 2 out of my 5 picks already locked in. And then we'll see what happens with Steph Curry tonight. Right now, he's got 23 points. He needs 7 more for me to end up winning tonight on Prize Picks. JD, how'd you do? I got to fix my camera, but how'd you do tonight?
I mean, as of right now, I have a winning ticket. I'm just waiting on Stephen Curry. He has 4 threes at this point, and I took the under 5.5. So he might go over there. We'll see. That's the only game I have active right now. I took the under on 5.5 threes. Devin Booker, I took the over on points, 3.5. He scored 30. I was a little nervous about that game because they played OKC, and that's a blowout factor. I don't like to play blowout factor games. Because players could bench early, but he scored 30 points, so I hit the over there. Franz Wagner from the Orlando Magic. I took the over 17.5 points tonight. He had 20. And Lou Dort against the Phoenix Suns, good defensive team. I took the under 3 on 3-pointers. He was 2 of 9 from 3 tonight. So I hit those 3. Lou Dort under, Franz Wagner over, Devin Booker over. And Stephen Curry is still playing right now.
Oh, so you 3 for 3 right now with 4 to 4. Okay, so you stunting right now. Okay, all right, you feeling good about yourself just going into this.
Gotta be just humble for the rumble.
I got you, man. Hey, you guys at home, man, go ahead and try this out. Play responsibly, of course. But go to PrizePicks.com or download the PrizePick app and enter promo code KFTV at the sign-up screen for a 100% match on your deposit of up to $100. So great deal, and good job by JD. All right, back to the phones we go. Take a couple more before we wrap. Let's go to LV from Harlem. LV, what's good?
What's going on, fellas? Listen, also, Ash, I want to congratulate you guys on 45K, man. It's a big deal, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Salute to y'all on that.
Thanks a lot, bro.
All right, but let's get right into it. Listen, man, it all comes down to Tibbs and Randall, period. You know what I mean? Like, I've heard you guys mentioning earlier about how, who we're going to get for Fournier and Kemba. You got to know who these guys are when they come in. It's just simple basketball. Like, they're not meant to be defensive stoppers. I don't expect Kemba to be locking down anybody. Same thing with Fournier. You brought them in strictly for offense. So that's up to Tibbs. But as you guys know, the rumor is, I don't know how true it is, Tibbs didn't really want those guys. You know what I'm saying? He wanted other people. He really likes big guards that could defend on the wing. You know what I mean? If it was up to him, he probably would have kept Bullock and all them other dudes because those are his type of players. So automatically, things aren't working out. So what does he do? He puts Kemba at the end of the bench, which is a terrible move to a guy that has a 10-year career, averaging 19 points, four-time All-Star. So what does that say to the rest of the league? What does that say to everybody else who love Kemba and who have a certain mindset about him? Now they're going to look at Tibbs. So then I also look at Tibbs because I'm saying, look at what he's doing to Randall. He's telling Randall he's bigger than what he really is. So Randall thinks that I'm LeBron, I'm Mason, I'm this, and that's not your game. Perfect example, get down in the paint and get busy in that ball half. If Kemba and Fournier got the outside, why can't you get down and get busy? He's got smaller dudes on him. He can't even take them in the paint. That tells you where his game is at. That tells you the type of player he is. So now the problem is people expect Fournier to pick up what Randall's not doing. So if Randall ain't producing, right? So now you say, well, what's Fournier doing? Then people start passing the buck. So now if he's not doing this thing, everybody starts to look worse than what they really are. When they was brought here to just add to him. And so that's what's happening with the team. That's
He makes
why
the
we're
role
struggling,
players look
because
worse,
we're
man.
looking at,
He makes the role
say it again. I'm sorry.
He
TP.
makes the role players look worse.
Yeah, that's my point. And so so every star player, when you have those role players around, when a double team comes to you, because everybody know who you are as a star player, you're gonna get yours. Period. That goes from Melo, LeBron, all the greats, KD, whomever. So now the double comes. Now that leaves Fournier open, Burks, Kemba, those guys to get their numbers up. But what's happening is no one's doubling him like that because he ain't producing. And then he goes through these mood swings. We ain't got time for that, man. Listen, you getting $30 million a year. You got to come and play every night, man.
Yeah.
We don't have time for all these moods and whatever it is, man. But like you said earlier, CP, that pressure's getting real, man. Ain't no hotter seat than New York City.
Yeah, pressure's
and
cooking,
everybody knows. Everybody knows. That's why LeBron didn't want to come here. That's a fact. There's no hotter seat in this city than New York City in the Garden, prime time. Everybody's chilling because it's cold outside. Where they want to go? They want to go inside to the Garden. So ain't no hotter seat, and he can't handle that. And so now people are like, yo, why Fournier ain't doing this? Why's Kemba not there? Yo, man, look at that cat. He's supposed to make everybody better because of his productivity, and that's not happening. But now I look at Tibbs. Everybody's mad because Randall's bringing the ball up. Who's coaching him? Tibbs, tell him to stop bringing the pill up and give it to Kemba.
Yeah.
Give it to Burks. Give it to whoever. Why are you just letting him do whatever? See, so now that's why I'm saying Tibbs and Randall, because now you got to start looking, because, listen, that's what the team relies on. Also, too, one last point, I'm going to get up out of here.
Yeah.
They said Grimes didn't play tonight. But Obi played tonight. They was out the same amount of time. So is this Tibbs up to his BS like he usually does?
Let's go.
Tibbs was down with Van Gundy and them, and they were just shit coaching staff. So check it out. So here's the thing, CP. So if he can't, let's say Grimes came to practice late, Tibbs might be on some BS like, nah, he ain't playing tonight.
Yeah. But I mean, look.
He's always had history of doing stuff like that.
Obi only played 13 minutes though. I don't know. Like I said,
Obi always plays 13 minutes.
But the whole Taj thing was blasphemy, bro. Come on, man.
That's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
Right, but CP, my thing is, if Obi got in, why can't Grimes get in? You understand what I'm saying?
No, you're right, bro. You're definitely right. And like I said, my whole thing with the Grimes thing, I'm just speculating. And appreciate the call. I'm just speculating, bro. I have no intel on why he didn't play. I'm only assuming that based on the fact that, you know, that he sat RJ for that reason. I was only assuming that he did the same thing with Grimes. And I'm expecting, yes, Obi did play, but the whole rotation where you got Taj and Julius and Sims out there, which was crazy, Obi should have been there if that was the case. So I don't know. I don't know what the situation was with these guys coming back from the protocol. Obviously, you know, once we do get back to full strength, you would expect them to be playing a lot more. So I don't know, JD. I have no idea, bro.
I guess we'll find out next game, right? Can't use that excuse next game.
Yeah.
He would have already a few days, and hopefully he gets in the game next game.
Yeah. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for your squad. Knicks postgame line presented by Prize Picks. Shout out to Vaughn Kwan. He says, $20 super chat. It's all on Tibbs' inability to make game time adjustments. Substitution patterns have been suspect all year. His reliance on Randall is pathetic. The consummate pro Kemba Walker did his thing. Now what, Tibbs? Yeah, guy drops 44 points. And you said he couldn't help us 18 games into the season on a mediocre team. That was a bad look for Tibbs, man. Ron from Baltimore. Ron, what's good?
Oh, man, I'm frustrated.
How you feeling, man?
I wanted to call you because you can help me.
What's going on, man?
Talk me off the ledge.
Where are we going? I mean, Burks had a night tonight, 20 points. 7 boards for Burks, 4 or 9 from downtown.
Yeah, just I'm going to go with it. Before I get to Randall, just that one foul call that was atrocious right near our sideline, that with the Avija giving him 2 free throws.
Yeah.
The call was on the floor.
Yeah.
That wasn't a shooting foul. Here's my thing with Randall, okay? He doesn't make open threes anymore. That little mid-range shot where he uses his arm to get separation, he was money last year. He usually would get to the free throw line last year. He's not getting to the free throw line. He can't make that shot anymore. It's gone. He doesn't have the lift. It's either being called a charge or he's not getting any foul calls. So here's my speculation with Julius. Also, he's not trying on defense. He's not getting back. He gets frustrated. I get sad Julius on the court if things don't go his way. He's like, he needs his bottle. He doesn't get back, so he's mentally out. So my question to you is this: is it the baby? Is it the fans? No. Is it the fans back in the arena? Is it the sleep? Is it? I'm trying to figure it out. So if it's not the baby, if it's because there are fans in the stand. Last year when there were no fans in the stand, he was fine. He could shoot fine. Yeah. You know, I'm trying to find reasons for why I can't get the Julius that I mean.
I just think
what's the reason?
I just think and appreciate the call, Ron. I think it's a little bit of everything, man. I think it's the pressure to recreate the success of last year. I think it's the pressure in terms of trying to adjust to the new pieces. And I think he's just burnt out, man. I think he put in a lot of effort last year.
Yeah.
And it's only the creme de la creme that can maintain that, man.
I think we also have to be careful. I know as Knicks fans, we're passionate and things like that, but we also have to be careful not to assume things about people's personal life and his family.
Well, the whole family thing, I mean, I think people got a little bit too obsessed with his family. Even last year, like the whole thing, I thought that was a little weird.
We got to stay away from that.
I keep it on the court, man. I look at what's on the court.
Keep it within the realms of the game. Don't blame, the new baby. And it's just, we don't need to even go in there. There's enough on the court to dissect him with. We don't need to step outside the realms into his personal life. I agree. I think it's hard when you go, Julius's tenure in New York has been weird, right? So his first season was a complete disaster. His second year around, he gets the opportunity to reintroduce himself, right? He wrote that article in the Players Tribune that we all spoke about last season about how most people don't get second chances to make a first impression, and he's going to go ahead and do that. And he did it in New York. I mean, that was an incredible season. I think now he already is in that mode of being the leader and having that responsibility and being the only one who can get it done. That sometimes it's really hard to get yourself out of that when you no longer have to be that, because you had to program yourself to be that in order to get you out of the hole of your first season in New York. So he's now having to undo an entire season of a personality, spiritual, mental, just makeover. And it's hard. It's hard to just flip that switch. I'm not, saying that it's beneficial to the team, but I can understand how it's difficult to make that transition and to make that transition quickly, because you already have habits that have been formulated. You already have a mindset that's been formulated. And now you're asking him to do what he did when he first got to New York into the second season. You're asking him now to take everything from the second season and forget about it, because now that's hard for a player. That's extremely difficult to do.
He's not the guy. He's just not the guy, man. That's just reality. He's just not the guy, bro.
I don't think is and I know Ron is wants to figure it out. I really don't think it's complicated at all. We see it in sports. Nerlens Noel last year, when we asked him to be a starter and play 30 minutes, he was exposed. We see it with Alec Burks. We asked him to be a starter, he played 30, 35 minutes, he gets exposed. In sports, when you're asked to do more than maybe what you actually are, you start to see more weakness in the game. It starts to become more glaring.
It's a team of role players, man.
And then when you add to the fact that it's a copycat league, right? It's a copycat league in the NFL. It's a copycat league in all sports. Everybody's playing him this not exactly the same way that the Hawks play them with the quasi zone type of double team, but everyone is still being aggressive. They want him to be to think like a scorer, and they want him to be a decision maker. Why? Because the film says that when he is in that position, he is the least effective as a player, because his inability to make the proper pass and to make the proper decision. So I think it's a combination of we are putting a player that's not a number one in that position, and then the scouting report is out on him. So he's in a dead zone. And then the personnel around him, I think this roster is a little overrated. I think the best talent on this roster are the young guys. and he's playing with these vets that are not going to be here long term.
Yeah.
So
let me get to these phones and then we'll wrap. So to everybody in the chat once again, let's get those likes up. Let's get up to 1,000 likes. We got 1,500 people in the chat. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Knicks post game live presented by Prize Picks. Knicks lose 124-117. All right, let's finish this up. Rapid fire, people. I see a lot of regulars. I need you rapid fire tonight. Dan from Long Island, what's going on?
What's good, CP? I was there tonight. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You cannot have Fournier on the floor for over 30 minutes when he has 5 points through the fourth quarter. They can say whatever they want to say. If Fournier is not defending, he can't play.
Yeah, but then we had nobody else. You already gave Dotson 6.
You didn't want to play Grimes? You didn't want to play,
I don't know the reason why Grimes, but that you got to take that up with the coach. I don't know why Grimes didn't play. Clearly, there's a reason for it other than a healthy scratch. There has to be.
Well, maybe I didn't hear the press conference tonight. There's got to be a reason. It's unacceptable. Here's the other thing. I was sitting in the 7th row tonight, and I know, hey, Ash, I know you know your man. I know you know this guy, Julius Randle, apparently. Listen, it's unprofessional. Before the game, when the guy's in the lineup drill, tell him to take layups and shoot jump shots, not be posing for pictures with his wife's friends in the front row. It was embarrassment. It was a terrible night for the Knicks. Couldn't defend tonight. Randle was terrible tonight. Terrible, atrocious. You got to say it. You got to say it. Guys, have a great night. Take care.
All right, Dan. Happy holidays, man. Appreciate that. All right, next up, Poppa Left. Poppa Left. Let's go rapid fire, man. Rapid fire.
I know the kids are coming back. I know Deuce is coming back. I know IQ is coming back. I know RJ's coming back. I know Obi's back. I know that Sims is better than Noel. And you guys know that. But it's not about what we know. It's about what Tibbs knows. And Tibbs is looking like a guy that needs Alfred Payton to coach well. It's insane to me. But I'll say this. A lot of people are talking about Grimes. I have an inside source. It's not a joke. I have an inside source. He was not in healthy scratch. Tibbs was protecting him. Okay, so I understand why people are confused.
Protecting him from what?
He came back from COVID, and he did not feel right in warm-ups. I can't say much more than that.
Okay.
But certain people, they react differently to COVID. It's a real thing. Guys weren't just in protocol playing video games. You know what I mean?
Right.
Some guys, it hit them.
There's a reason. The bottom line is there's a reason why he did not play. It's not Tibbs wanting to play Dotson 16 minutes off of coming off the streets.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. I had that, CP. You know that's the reason why I had to call in, and I'm very, I'm very sensitive about giving out information like that. But I see the chat. I see people talking about Tibbs, and there's plenty of blame to put on Tibbs. Throwing Taj Gibson at small forward tonight was incompetence. Yeah. Like, you cannot do that.
He's been doing it This is third straight game he's been doing it.
I'll say this. Julius Randle on that Kuzma 3 stood there and watched, see ball, see man. I don't know what he was doing, but his feet were on the ground, and he didn't close out, jump. Bro. Yeah. And he waited till 47 minutes and 45 seconds into the game to make a non-statistical hustle play where he saved the ball to Evan. He waited 47 minutes and 45 seconds to make a non-statistical basketball play that helped us win. And that's unacceptable. And y'all have a happy holiday.
Appreciate that, bro.
This is still the best show. This is the best show for Knicks fans.
Number one show for the fans, by the fans. Poppa Left. That's all I'm saying, bro. Like, there has to be a reason why Grimes didn't play. And it's not because Tibbs thought House would have gave us a better chance or that Dotson would. You know what I'm saying? There's no way I could believe that. No way. All right. 2 more calls left. Jay from Florida. Jay, what's good?
Yo, what's good, my boys? What's good?
What's good?
Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button.
Let's go.
Yo, with man, I don't know, man. Listen, Tibbs, the front office, you can't skip the process, bro. You got to go in and you got to build this team properly. I've been saying from day one, Evan Fournier, $78 million, you skipping the process. You want to speed it up because you had a fool's goal season last year. Huge mistake. Gafford destroyed Mitch tonight. Mitch was prancing around, happy last game. He played a real center tonight, and he got destroyed by Gafford.
I thought it was a decent battle. I didn't think he got destroyed. Gafford is a good player too, but I didn't think he got destroyed.
Gafford swung the whole game in the third CP. Gafford swung the whole game, man. Gafford came out and destroyed us in the third quarter with Mitch on the floor. He was dunking on everybody.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
Well, Mitch picked up the foul. Remember when Mitch picked up the fourth foul, he came out. And that's when Gafford was going off on Sims and them.
Gafford dominated the bigs, man. He did his thing. Shout out to Poppa Left for that inside information. Shout out to the cat before that gave us information about Julius Randle. Yo, Julius Randle is nasty work. I keep saying it. I don't like it, man. He's not good for New York. New York is tired of him. He's probably tired of New York. It's time to move on from Julius Randle. I don't like it, man. I don't like his body language. I just don't like anything about him. I was going to get on Tibbs about not playing Grimes and Obi, but Poppa Left gave us information. I mean, I was looking like, yo, you can't be saving 21-year-olds. Like, what you saving? You saving 21-year-olds to play Doc? But I'll get off Tibbs tonight because Poppa Left gave us that information. Yeah. I'll get off Tibbs tonight because Poppa Left gives us information. But I'm going, man. You can't skip the process. We was better off in the lottery. At least we had something to look for. At least we had a pick to look for. At least we had an opportunity to get the guy to save us. Now we stuck with Randall, Fournier, and a whole bunch of crap. Rose is injured. There's no future in this team. There's no future.
That's not true, man. It's not true, man. The future's very well bright on this team. These kids will get the opportunity. Now, Tibbs may not be the guy. We know that. These kids will get the opportunity, JD.
And they should be getting it right now. As soon as they get back, they should be getting an opportunity to play. I mean, you're talking about already some pieces here. I mean, there's a lot of players that you would say you want as part of the future. With McBride and Grimes and RJ, you have Obi. You have a decent number of players here that could be part of your future.
Yeah.
I think people just want to already see what that's going to look like. And I know that there's a misconception here. There's a portion of the fans that wants the young guys and they're thinking that means tank. And there's a portion of the fans that think going to the young guys is actually the solution in terms, and it's you don't hear that often. Very rarely do you see a veteran team and then you say, well, go to young guys. That's how you're going to win games this year, because that usually means you're tanking for the year. But I really believe that these specific young guys on this roster can help the team win games this year, as well as continue to develop. And you see where that leads you.
See where it leads, bro. Definitely see where it leads. But the idea that you go make the playoffs a 4 seed and then you concede to your fan base that this is fool's gold and we're going to build through the youth, that's never going to happen, bro. I keep telling fans to be realistic. You may not be happy with how it looks, and hopefully they reverse course. But that's just the reality. You're going to build on that. You're not going to try to go backwards. And that's what you're doing. When you handing it over to all kids, you're going backwards. That's not the goal. That was never the goal. Yeah, what they put on the court is not working. We understand that. But going back to the end of that first round playoff exit, you're trying to build on that. And what they did was they try to build on it on team-friendly deals. And if it doesn't work, guess what? You get these guys out of here. And guess what you have? You have your kids that you can roll in. You still have RJ. You still have Quickly. You're not trading anybody. Obi's still here. You still got Grimes. You still got McBride. Who you hope take next steps further along as the years go. So this idea, we're stuck, we have no future. What are you talking about? You have all these kids right here. What do you mean we got no future? They're trying to win. They're trying to compete and make the playoffs. Now, it's going to come in time. There may come a time when that is out of reach. And you hope that at that point, they start making the transition. And maybe you look to be sellers at the deadline. Maybe you look to be sellers in the off season. We'll see what happens at that point. But to say that we're just stuck, no, we're not stuck yet. I think it's a little too early to hit that we're stuck in the mud thing. Nah, man. I don't see it that way. I really don't. I really don't. All right, last call of the night. We heard from the Debbie Downer. Let's go to the last Debbie Downer. Let's go to Ari. Hear what Ari got to say. Ari, what's good?
Uh-oh.
Hey, you guys hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, bro. What's good?
All right. First of all, I'm feeling a lot better.
Good, man. Good to hear.
I'm feeling better. So I'm gonna give a call in.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm gonna try to do this relatively quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, let's stop with this Julius doesn't look like himself this year nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
The reality of it is he didn't look like himself last year when there was no fans in the stands. And he was playing for his financial future while all the competition was just trying not to kill grandma. That's actually what happened. He snuck up on teams. People were more about that.
Oh, we losing you, man. We losing you. Can you
hear me now?
Sorry, you're going through a tunnel. Can't hear you. Bye.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
You hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right. What I'm saying, people that were playing against this team last year were more concerned about their health, their family.
I think you making a lot of assumptions there, bro. I can't get with that, bro.
Listen. All I'm telling you is when someone's been in the NBA for 7 years and they have one good season, you don't just judge them on that one good season. You judge them in the totality of their career. And in 2019, he played like trash. In the playoffs, he traded like trash. Even when he was on the Pelicans as the third option, he played On the Lakers, he didn't play that well. He had 70 games in an entire career where he played well. That's it. That is it. Okay? But that's not the point. That's not what I want to talk about. All right? I want to talk about Tibbs and then really quickly why it's not a complete, why the future isn't completely at hand. First of all, about Tibbs.
Your connection, man. All right, go ahead, bro. I'm going to give it one more about your connection sound. You got those earbuds in?
Yeah, I'm going to take them out.
Take those off, man. That's why the thing is, you got the feds in your ear, man. Take those off. Those things are. You hear that, JD? Those things are scrambling, man. I keep telling people, take those Apple AirPods and get rid of them, man. You got Big Brother all up in your joint, man. That's why it keeps scrambling like that.
With the sponsorship,
yeah.
Get it out.
get those out of there, man. Toss those earbuds, man.
Straight feds. 1 second.
While Ari's doing that, I just want to go ahead and take this moment to let you all know that the Dallas Cowboys are officially in the playoffs. Shout out to the 49ers. How about them Cowboys?
I just muted Mike Ash's mic. Ari, go ahead.
I can unmute myself.
Oh,
damn. So basically, with Tibbs, all right? Yeah. I watched Julius Randle blow Kemba Walker on the floor after a make, okay? Tibbs, him trying to win now is the whole problem with this team, man. The whole problem with this team is this win now thing. And here's the thing about the future. The future is not all lost. I'm not one of those guys that thinks we have no future. I do think there is a chance that we have a future. But what I do think is I think that the front office shot themselves in the foot big time with this free agency. You guys, you call a team-friendly deal, CP, and listen, CP, you're corrupted. I'm going to ask JD. JD, do you think Evan Fournier's deal and Julius Randle's deal and Nerlens Noel deals are team-friendly deals?
Not right now, no.
Yo, after this year, the Noel, the Rose, the Burks deal are essentially 1-year deals. What are we talking about here?
What do you mean? They're each deal is 3-year deals, no?
2 years guaranteed.
2 years.
The last year, full team options.
So we just wasted 2 years on a rebuild. And here's the thing: even though that it's only 2 years, whatever, they're stunning the young players' growth because the young players don't have enough of a bigger role. You don't see what they're actually could do. With Julius Randle on this team, how do we know what RJ's capable of? How do we know what Obi's capable of? They're like the fourth or fifth option on the team, man. The Knicks have to pick a side, man. They have to pick a side. Are we winning now or are we rebuilding? We obviously can't win now, man. We couldn't win last year. We can't win now.
You couldn't win last year. So you expected them to come back and tell the fans, no, we're just gonna. Last year it was all fool's gold. We're sorry, but we're just gonna take steps back.
What I would have done last year is first of all, definitely wouldn't have extended Randall. I would have let him play out this year. If they weren't going to trade him last year, I would have let him play out this year, see if it wasn't a fluke or not. All right, so I'd bring him back. I'd pay Burks. I was fine with Burks and Rose, but that Fournier deal and that Noel deal We're garbage. Bring Dotson for 1 year. Who cares?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Who cares? You made the playoffs last year.
What? So you're bringing the same team back that made the playoffs last year. You bring another couple pieces. You bring some draft picks. Okay, give them some burn. Develop the young players. Why do we need to? Why do we like? This is what I don't understand. Why do we need to, like do that? Why do we need to sign Evan Fournier to a 4-year, 3-year deal, $78 million? It doesn't make any sense. Like, you know, I understand they were trying to build on last year, man, but you didn't have to, like. Now what's going to end up happening is, and the reason why it's the future is not ruined is because this different than Carmelo. With Carmelo, we gave up all our draft picks.
Okay.
We had no young players. At least we have draft picks and young players. The problem is now, in order to get rid of Fournier, in order to get rid of Randall, in order to get rid of Noel, you're going to have to give some of these picks and some of these pieces up.
You don't have to do that for Noel. If he's here another year, big deal. Then he's going the Knicks. It's a big deal.
Okay, but listen, man, it's because they're stunning the development of the young players, man. They're starting to develop the young players. Randall on the team is not healthy for RJ. Not healthy for Obi.
Listen, man.
It's all about situations,
RJ's
man.
a grown-ass man. Yes, there are adjustments that they can make to make RJ better. RJ's got to play better on his own, man. He's missing wide-open threes, shooting bricks. You can't make up for RJ's lack of athleticism by getting rid of Julius Randle. RJ has to play better when he's given the opportunity as well, man. I understand where Julius is. It impacts it. I understand that. But last year, the chemistry was on point, though, wasn't it?
Right, I understand, but when RJ sucks, it's not costing you $30 million a year. The guy just signed a 4-year, $117 million. 3 of those years are guaranteed. The team looks better with him off the floor. He is the problem. Don't you understand? The problem with Julius Randle is that he needs the ball in his hands to be effective. He needs the ball in his hands to be effective, but he's not good enough to have the ball in his hands all the time. He can't play off ball. He cannot play off ball. He doesn't fit around anyone. It's what JD said. So now we have someone making $117 million a year on our team who doesn't fit around anyone, who's not good enough to have the ball in his hands, but can't play off the ball. And now he's stunning everyone's growth. And then we signed the French guy who's making 4 years. He's guaranteed for the next 2 more years after this, $78 million, when Alec Burks is just as good as him for 2 years on $10 million a year he's making. It's just nonsense. It's just nonsense. We screwed up in free agency. We have to admit it. We made a mistake in free agency. We did well in the draft. All right. We did well with the D Rose trade. All right. We still have all our assets. Not all over. But do not call these team-friendly contracts. Do not say it's all working out. It's all good. It's not, man. It's not. And I just don't think it is. You're never gonna make me. You're never gonna make me agree with you, CP.
That's okay.
I'm dying on this hill.
We don't have to agree. We don't need to agree. You know, the point of this show is not to have everybody in agreement. Of course not. Why would we want that? It's to bring facts, bring your perspective, and we'll have a debate about it. That's what the show is all about. It's not about everybody agreeing with me or this person's wrong, this person's right. It's about you providing your perspective and supporting that with good evidence and good facts. Yeah, I mean, you guys are. Look, after the season, I keep explaining this. After the season that he has, this was inevitable. They were not going to let him play it out and see what happens, this, that, and the third. They went in and did the best that they could, and they got a team-friendly deal. They could have gave him $200 million at 5 years. You could have got the Supermax out of him. And maybe they would have gave it to him. I have no idea. But they got the best that they could, which is to get the team-friendly deal at a cheaper amount, less than the Supermax, and you go with it. Now it's not paying dividends for you. So maybe will they give it another year and then see what happens? Yeah, probably. But it doesn't mean that they're stuck. It might not mean that they're gonna make a lot of progress over the next 2 years with him here. I'm not here to say that he's playing well, JD and Ash. That's the last thing I'm here to say. All I'm saying is I understood why the front office made the moves that they did. It's just not working out. It is what it is. There's a lot of teams in the league right now trying to do the same thing. It doesn't work out. This is the hardest league to build a contender with. That's all I gotta say on that, man. That's all I gotta say. JD Ash, any last points?
The Cowboys are going to the playoffs. So
Yo, JD, go ahead, man.
Awesome take, Ash. Very insightful. I will say this about Julius Randle. This is just a personal belief. When I survey the landscape of the NBA and the way business is being done today, some of the contracts that are being given, Jaren Jackson getting $100 million. I do believe that if Randle would have played out the season this year, he would have gotten $100 million from someone else, probably more, just because although we have this belief of him, a small market team won't care. Like other markets, they don't care that he's psyched out because he's playing in the guard. You know, like they're not evaluating him the same way that we're evaluating players. That's why I said, like, I don't think Lonzo would shoot as good as well as he's doing in Chicago. That's why Fournier to me is not playing as well. I think there's a difference playing in New York.
Yeah,
it's a whole different animal. So when you're thinking about bringing a player here, that's why Norman Powell was a guy that I was high on because of his personality. That's why Dinwiddie was a possibility that they were interested, like guys that have already that experience or have certain characteristics.
You need mental toughness,
that's why the fans love McBride and Grimes. These are gritty players that play defense. That translates well in New York. It's the personality of the city. But, you know, guys like Randle, I think if they would have played it out, they would have still got the money. So to me, it's just a simple decision of, do we want this player to be a part of the future or not? And they made the decision that he is.
And I'm going to piggyback off of that on a serious note. Like, we talk about, and the fans always talk about, oh, he was overpaid, and oh, this, and oh, you don't judge a player off of one season. And look, at the end of the day, the league, as I say all of the time, CP, we talk about it all of the time. It's a what have you done for me lately? And what Julius Randle has done for the Knicks lately is why he got paid what he got paid. Whether or not you agree with the timeline, whether or not if you agree it should have happened this season, if he repeated it, then it's not how it works. Any good agent, and if you are an NBA agent, you're pretty much a good agent for the most part. There are exceptions, is going to go ahead and cash in while the iron is hot. They're not going to wait till it cools down to get their client a deal. Mm-hmm. It works when they are playing their best basketball. Julius Randle's playing his best basketball last season. For anyone to think that his agent and his team were not going to go ahead and get a deal done before the new season started in case this very thing happened, has just started watching basketball. It's not how it works. Whether you agree with it or not, move on, get over it. That is the business of the NBA. That is the business model. At the end of the day, it's not Julius Randle's fault that this team is crumbling. It is a lot of different things. He has a part of the responsibility, 110%. He is not the sole perpetrator of the responsibility, though. So for us to keep saying, oh, he got paid too much, it's over and done with. Let it go. The team is not conducive for the type of player that he is. It worked last season, whether you want to say it was a fluke, whether you want to say it was because of COVID, whether you want to say it was because of this, whether it was because of that. The point of the matter, it worked last season because a lot of the responsibility fell on his shoulders, and he flourished in that role until he did.
Let me get to KiingDeej.
Now the team looks different, and his responsibility is different, and he's having a hard time adjusting. But this team also lacks an identity. And when you lack an identity, your players don't know who they are and don't know how they contribute. And that is across the board. So stop focusing on the money. The money is gone. It's not coming out of your bank account. It's not coming out of my bank account. It's not coming out of JD's bank account. We do not have to pay this man. All right, move on from that. There are bigger issues. Julius Randle is not going anywhere anytime soon. So the sooner everyone can accept that and start thinking about solutions around that, the happier everybody will be. You got to move on.
KiingDeej on the Discord. Let's go ahead and close it out.
Yo, run it up.
Let's go.
Salute the orange and blue. You know, all I care about is the orange and blue. Ashley, take me out to dinner after the Cowboys lose to the Packers, all right? You know, I'm going to leave it at that.
King Curve on the Discord.
Let's talk about it, man. I'm not here to talk about Randle no more, man. I'm not. The leader of this team, for better or for worse, is Kemba Walker. That's what you've learned from this game. That's what you learned from this week. The team, that building, they all rally around Kemba Walker. It's from Randle to the kids to everybody. The biggest problem for the New York Knicks is the coach. I'm not gonna blame Randall no more, man, because you put in Randall in these positions where he's it's clear as day. If you had any type of basketball feel or any type of like knowledge of the game, you got to start placing this guy in, like, not even just him, just in general. Tibbs, you're supposed to be a defensive guru. I know that you knew that Evan and Kemba were signing up, and I know they're not the best defensive players. That's why I was talking about Will Barton in the offseason. That's why I was talking about Lonzo in the offseason. But goddamn, like, bro, if you're not gonna put these guys in situations, if you can't hide these guys or have a team defense, a strategy, a rotation, a string, then what are you good for? Because I don't see nothing on the offensive end, Tibbs. You're killing me. You're killing me. You played 3 centers. You keep playing 3 centers, and it's like I don't even think he realizes who's on his roster. He doesn't even understand who's on his roster.
Now the Taj thing. This is 3 games in a row now. The Taj thing.
He
This is
has
crazy.
the 1 and Fournier at the 2 with 3 centers.
It's like he forgot. It's like he forgot that he had Obi. And yeah, I'm not saying you got to play Damian Dotson and Daniel House. I'm not even going there.
Lord, bro.
They're not even there. They're not even going there with that. But Tibbs, you're killing me, coach. You're killing me. These you're killing me. You don't know. You don't got a feel for the game. You're the problem. You are the problem. I'm not looking at Randall no more. I'm looking at you. You said early in the season you don't make rash decisions and to panic. You panicked when you took Kemba out. Kemba's showing you that you're panicked. This looks real bad. It's a bad L. This is a bad L.
Yeah, the Kemba thing makes him look terrible.
And this is the problem. All the answers that we talking about in this chat, everything that everybody's saying, he has the answers to all of that on this team already. If he knew how to coach it up, he's not Nick Nurse. He's not none of these guys. The thing that's killing me is that he's a defensive guru, and right now the stats show that he's not being a defensive guru.
Well, I mean, he's gonna be if he played his defensive players. So you can't turn.
But that's the problem, CP. And CP, you know where I stand on this. He don't play kids. It don't matter if they're defensive pros. I keep telling y'all in this chat, man. The Tibbs had Jimmy Butler on the bench when the Bulls were at the height of their powers, man. At the height of their powers, Jimmy Butler had no part to play in that. When LeBron and Wade and Bosh was in Miami, he had no part to play in that. And you know why Rose and Taj roll with him? Because they're calming influences. Nobody rolls with Tibbs, man. Nobody in the league rolls with Tibbs. He's well respected for everything that he's done. But when it comes to this X and O, it's not there. And it's showing. It's showing. And the reason why I'm not saying that the future's over. I'm not going that far. But the future can't be bright with him as a coach. Because with you won't see it. It's an eclipse. It's not bright. It's an eclipse. He's the eclipse. He's the eclipse. He could have won this game, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see that because he could have won this game if he just switches. If there's just little little subtle things. CP.
Yeah.
I'm stressed out. Because he ain't going nowhere. You know why? You know why he's not going nowhere? Because he's got friends in the building.
They tied in. But ultimately, the man at the top is gonna want results. Right?
Well,
you remember him? The guy that cuts the checks?
No, you're right.
He's not with that family. He just pays him to get the job done. But if the job ain't getting done,
you're right.
They're getting up out of there altogether.
You're right. But then when he gets involved, Dolan gets a lot of slack for getting involved because he makes rash decisions based on how it looks. But when he gets involved, he wipes the floor. And that's when everybody underneath him makes dumb decisions following that. That's when you would have to trade Ari. I mean, like Ari says, that's when you would have to trade Ev with a pick because you're getting so much fire from the man above.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's awful because it's a rotating. This is never ending. Like, I feel like I've been here 5 years ago.
Hang in there, bro.
I've been here 5 years ago, bro.
Hang in there, man.
Peace and love, man. Peace and love.
KiingDeej on the Discord.
So
Appreciate you, man.
This is how it happened. Tibbs went to Taj before the game. He says, Taj, listen, Noel's out. Obi's coming back. So he ain't going to play that much. I need 20 minutes from you tonight. And Taj asked him, all right, coach, so how are we going to do that? He says, and Tibbs responded, he said, the way we're going to get you to play 20 minutes, we're going to play you at the 3, we're going to play you with 3 centers, and you're going to guard Dinwiddie. and look how it happened. It didn't happen because he guarded Dinwiddie and he picked up fouls, got in foul trouble. He played 7 minutes tonight. So I don't understand what Tibbs's game plan was there with playing that big lineup. He's done it a few times tonight, or this season already,
this week,
especially recently.
Yeah,
I don't know how you're putting some of these players in positions to succeed when you're asking big men, let alone a guy that is up there in age to have productive night when you're asking them to defend a guard, let alone somebody like Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah, man. Let me read these super chats and get up out of here. I gotta cut underneath the 2 hour mark so we can get in the replay. Brian Almonte, $5 super chat says, funny how Julius the only teammate without matching socks. I wasn't looking that deeply, but appreciate that. Hoodies Vintage says, $5 super chat says, tough loss, can't afford to lose to shorthanded teams at home. Kemba was cooking, making Tibbs looking foolish. Garden was rocking. Hashtag Montrez, Harold is a bum. Paris Duggett says, Ari's voice is like Randall's body language. Brandon guesses, Kemba said, bump Tibbs, I'm going Charlotte mode. Kemba won the locker room and the city tonight, while Julius is hearing boos and seeing ghosts. Hashtag locker room war. Okay. Showdown Poker. Future is bright. People really switch up overnight. Yeah, man. Daniel Perez, Jules hit his ceiling. Sorry, it's the truth. Flyboy says at this point, I'm not reading that. Von Quan, appreciate it. Daniel Perez says teams got fined for Lonzo. Knicks ain't try hard enough. Paul Robinson says Randall is hurting us more than Evan. Carl Ramsey, in my opinion, it's a mistake to assemble an offensive roster with a defensive coach. There is no creativity to Tibbs' offense. JD, how much points Steph Curry got right now? Samuel Neves says...
Like how you went right to the super chat. 39.
Okay, there we go. Prize Picks winners tonight. Did you win tonight, bro? Oh, you on mute. You on mute.
He hit 7 threes, but I still won.
Nice.
3 out of 4.
Nice. I got my 3 out of 5. You know what I mean? It wasn't my 5 out of 5. But I won. He's going crazy, bro. That's a good pick. Ryman Mo Chuck D says, remember, Reggie didn't come in as a defensive stopper. He was okay on D with Julius, nor did Elf, who was point guard hope. They bought into Tibbs' defense. They bet on Evan. Del Will said, that's a fair point. Del Will says, reality check. Fournier is a slightly above average shooter with a horrible all-around basketball instincts. H to the Izzo says, Knicks compete defensively on the road. At home, they play scared. That's a good point. Carlo Hendricks, almost every bucket the Wizards got were from attacking Fournier for 3 quarters. This loss is on Tibbs. Rare addition, one-word leadership. Randall is not an established leader. Kemba can reprise that role on the team. Key is Tibbs. We need some inspiration. Blade Pinder Hughes, appreciate it. He says, Julius had a trash game, wasted Ashley's drip for the night. SMH. Carl Barnett, 83, says, Knicks fans, let's put things in perspective. Our best player won 6th Man of the Year. That's a bench player award. Hashtag play the kids. Kep Steezy says, moodiest Randall. Kep Steezy, appreciate the super chat. Who else we got? Steve Verner says, in the final... Oh, I got that one. He says, also check the last dunk by Randall. Read his lips. He says, I don't F with what I think he said. I'm not sure what you said there, Steve, but I appreciate the super chat. Chuck D says, I got that one. Hush Zoo says, Ash, you claim to be the head of the Randall Hive. How do you explain the season Randall is having so far? Kyle Turner says, is Julius a shell of himself or was last season an aberration? For my money, he's been this year what he's been the entire time in the league. Still Knicks fan says, let's get that J Boogie joint with Poppa Left and Cully. Play the MSG on Christmas Day. Go to Instagram and search. Yeah, shout out J Boogie, Poppa Left, and Cully, man. Check out the Christmas Day jam. I got to wrap up the show, though. I don't have time to play it, but check out the Christmas Day jam. Christmas Day, I'll do a quick post game. It won't be a normal post game. We'll just do a quick joint. Quick reaction for those of you that want to tune in. But Christmas Day, I'm be at the fam and whatnot. But we'll do a quick show. CT Pittman, appreciate it. Carl Burnett, 83. Says, ain't no way the Knicks is good enough team to have Cardiac Kemba on the bench, not getting no run. Tibbs needs a new plan. Wixel Martellus, $10 super chat, says, going with Fournier the entire third was interesting. Also, given Tibbs' reasons for cutting Kemba from the rotation, we should expect Kemba and Randall to get the same treatment, right? No, you invested way more money in them. That's just the reality of the situation. I don't see that happen. Respect Shaq says, why is Evan playing the whole third quarter? He can't stop a nosebleed. JT Riddick, salute. CP, Ash, and CK. Okay, that was from yesterday. Ash, JD, we out of here. Great show. Great show by all the mods.
Everyone.
Merry Christmas. All that good stuff, man. Remember, this show is available in audio podcast format, all the major podcast platforms. The links to the podcast will be up on KnicksFanTV.com. And once again, go to prizepicks.com, enter promo code KFTV for a 100% match on your deposit of up to $100. Me and JD just won tonight. More Christmas presents for the fam. We out of here. Peace.
Be safe, everyone.